This exercise is going to explore the use of certain tools that are available to us in AutoCAD in the form of measuring tools. Tools that will allow us to measure distances, angles, areas, and determine what the coordinates are for specific points. Additionally, we'll explore the use of the stretch tool. I'm going to start out by using the distance command. If I click on the measure tool and ask AutoCAD to tell me what is the distance from this point to this point, it will measure that distance and tell me that it's 79 units. Now it's perhaps longer than that, or it could even be slightly shorter than that, but currently my units are set to have a precision of 0. So that 79 units is potentially a rounded number. Notice that when we use that particular tool, that AutoCAD provides us with some additional information. If you look in the lower left-hand corner where the command lines are, it tells us that that distance is 79. It also tells us that the angle in the XY plane was 0 degrees, and that the angle from the XY plane is 0 degrees. Now let's try this one more time. I'll click on this tool and measure the distance from this point to this point. And notice that this time AutoCAD told me exactly what that distance is. It's 63 units. But it also tells me that the angle in the XY plane is 36 degrees. In other words, if you're looking at this white diagonal line that appears in the screen, the angle between that line and the original line that we measured, that angle is 36 degrees. AutoCAD also told us what delta x and delta y are. So from the position of the cursor as it is right now, if we could draw a line from that position straight down to the green line, the first one that we measured, that distance would be 37 degrees, or I'm sorry, 37 units. The distance from the point that was originally specified to the point where the y-axis of the cursor intersects that first line, that's 51 units, or delta x. Delta means change. So in other words, the change in the x dimension was 51 units, and the change in the y dimension was 37 units. AutoCAD also has an ability to measure angles. If I click on that angle tool and ask AutoCAD to tell me what the angle is between this line and this line, it's going to tell me that it's 108 degrees. The stretch tool that AutoCAD has allows us to make things longer or even shorter. I'm going to click on this stretch tool, and I'm going to drag a crossing window so that it captures the 4 points that you see. I'm going to right click and I'm going to drag this in this direction by some distance. The point is here is that we've made that shape a little bit longer than it was previously. The next thing that I want to do is show you how to use the ID command. If you look at the utilities here, there is no command that allows us to identify a specific point. On the other hand, at an empty command line, if I type the letters ID for identification and press the Enter key, and then place the cursor on some point and left click, AutoCAD will provide to me what the absolute coordinate of that intersection is relative to the origin of the drawing. So its absolute coordinate in this case is 316 units in the X direction and 219 units in the Y direction. The last thing I want to show you is how to use the area command. If I click on the area tool and ask AutoCAD to tell me or to provide to me the area of this shape, notice that as I select each point, it begins to fill that particular area with that green shading. Once I've finished that, all I have to do is right click and click Enter. And notice that AutoCAD provides for me all of the information that I requested, at least in terms, it actually provided more information than what I wanted. It provided the area, which is 3,640 square units, and it also told me what the perimeter of that shape is. I'm going to press the Escape key, and the next thing I'm going to do is type the letters PE for Polyline Edit and press the Enter key. I'm going to select one of these lines, and I'm going to respond to the prompt in the lower left-hand corner by answering yes. What AutoCAD is saying is, this line is not a polyline. Do you want to turn it into one? My answer is yes, so I'll press the Enter key. The next thing that I want to do is join that line that I selected to all of the other lines that it is contiguous with. I'll right click and press the Enter key on the keyboard. Notice now that that single line is now connected to all of the other lines. It has formed a polyline. So if I go back to the Area tool and ask AutoCAD to tell me what the area of this shape is, I could do it in the same way that I did before by picking all of the points, but I could also do it an easier way. I could just simply type the letter O for object and press the Enter key. Then place the pick box on the object, and AutoCAD will tell me what the area is. In this case, it's 4,059 square units, and the perimeter is 288 units. There's one more way of measuring that I want to show you. Let's click on, well actually let's type PE at the keyboard and press the Enter key. I'm going to select this object, and I'm going to respond to the prompt by typing yes, or Y for yes, and pressing the Enter key. And I'm going to join that line to all of the other lines that it is contiguous with. Then I'll press the Enter key. I'm going to type the letters PE again and press the Enter key because I want to make a polyline out of these four objects. These four objects were not contiguous with the other line work. So I'll select one of them, I'll answer yes to the prompt, and I'm going to join that line with the other lines that it's contiguous with. Right click and press the Enter key on the keyboard. What I have now are two objects. So I'm going to ask AutoCAD now to measure the area, but I'm going to type A for add and press the Enter key. Type O for object and press the Enter key and click on that object. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to type S for subtract and O for object, and now I'll select this object. And notice that it tells me what the area of that is, but it also tells me the total area of the object. So the area of the outside shape minus the area of the inside shape is going to be 3,167 square units.